So I was having I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog, but I was having like a nightmare. And in my dog remembrance, distantly, like 175 years ago, I remember seeing two guys in my dog remembrance. It started out foggily, but then it got clearer and clearer. And one of those guys, he's like, "Hey, what are you? What are you, some kind of a stupid moron? What's your problem?" Another guy was like, "Boys, I'm in no mood for this kind of bullshit. What the fuck, what do you want?" The other guy, he was like, hey, listen, I was already wounded tonight. And look here, I got my 6 pence right in my facando. So you want some Fukustinost? And the guy, he was in his cot. And he was like, no. And he used the term yumpin Yemeni. He said, no, yumpin Yemeni. I want to get a good night's sleep. I got to mine dirt and ore tomorrow. It's ore. They didn't even know what it was. There was like ore, O-R-E. It could be this, it could be that. Or nobody knows. That's what they thought it was. It could be this, it could be that, or nobody even knows. Mine it, process it, get something out of it. And that's what they were doing at the time. But these two guys, one guy was in his cot, the other guy was standing over top of him. The guy standing over top of him was like, in my dog remembrance, my foggy dog remembrance, he's like, hey, what do you, is this, do you see me stand here? And the other guy who was down in his cot, he didn't really see him stand there because the guy who was standing above him had like one shot left and his 6-shooter was about to blast his brains out of his head just because he was in such a foul mood. And the guy in the cot was like, what do you want from me? What's going on? What's going on? And he was trying to clutch for his weapon, his knife or his Bowie knife or his hatchet. He didn't even know what he was going to try to grab for. But the crazy thing was, the guy in the upper bunk, he kind of spoke up because he was daydreaming in his slumbers too. He rolled over. As soon as he rolled over, a glint. And it turned out it was like from a flask where he kept a little bit of juice, a little bourbon, a little bit of corn liquor that he helped go to sleep. It glinted and that guy shot his last round. The guy in the lower bed, he pulled out his Bowie knife and he gutted that guy. That crazy bastard that was causing all the trouble from the beginning. The crazy bastard from the beginning was like standing on the top. He had one shot left because he was already in a bloodletting, shootout. And he already had maimed and murdered. And he had like one shot left. He was like, I'm going to blast the brains out of your head. But the guy in the upper bunk kind of rolled over and the glint of his flask flashed a little glint. And that guy sent his last round up through the bottom of that cot. And it blasted, gut shot him. But the guy in the bottom cot, that was like I don't know if it's the protagonist or whatever you call it, with like under hero or the guy who you hope for wins. He pulled out some kind of implement and he gutted that first guy who was a maniac. And the guy in both the cots were nice guys. They were not the problem. The guy standing there had already stumbled in from an altercation, and he was, he was already winged. He already had some wounds. But that boy in that lower cot, he gutted him, but there was 2 funerals the next day, and they didn't get to mine as much ore as they could have because they didn't start till like about 11 a.m. But they worked extra hard. They worked until 11 a.m. the next day straight through, and they kind of made up for all the ore they didn't mine during the funeral, and that was good. In my dog remembrance, I remember that way, and these were some crazy characters, and these were some guys. The guy in the lower cot kind of won, and he went on to live to be like 75, or he might even been 80.